Talk with the founder and editor-in-chief of the Truth Gazette, Brilyn Hollyhand. Brilyn, good to have you back on Victory News.
Mike, thanks for having me. Happy Wednesday. I'm happy to be here.
Happy Wednesday. Now, you're 17. How do you think both parties are doing when it comes to connecting with Americans your age and those into the early 20s?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that both parties need to be working on. Like you just said, we have more ancient relics up in Washington, D.C. than you, fresh blood like myself. It's way past time to get the dinosaurs out of Washington. And that's something that the Republican Party has been focused on, specifically with our candidates that are running for president right now. You've got Vivek Ramaswamy, the youngest Republican to ever run for president in United States history. I came on this program a few months ago and said, look, our candidates need to do a better job on social media. Vivek listened. I met with Vivek, and he's done a better job on social media. He's connecting with young influencers on platforms like TikTok, where people in my generation are paying attention, or people in my generation that will be voting for the first time next year are getting to hear his message. Donald Trump also has joined Instagram. He's back on Instagram after his ban. He's getting his message out through there as well. So these candidates are listening, and the Republican Party is listening to my generation.
Good to hear. Now, Brilyn, approximately 300,000 people gathered in Washington, D.C. yesterday to march on behalf of Israel and the Jewish people. The Washington Post buried that story in their Metro section, and other national media outlets ignored it. What does that say about the mainstream media's relationship with the American Jews and Israel?
Well, Mike, I'm not surprised at all. This is just another reminder that the mainstream media does not have the American people's best interests at heart. You know, instead of supporting Israel, our nation's greatest ally, you have the Washington Post, supposedly the leading newspaper of America, instead supporting the Hamas terrorists who were chanting death to Israel, death to America. That's where the Washington Post's best interests lie. It's very sad.
Now, last week, Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy set Ronna McDaniel in his sights.
Since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party.
Now, he demanded McDaniel come on the stage and resign at the debates. Now, Ramaswamy has launched a petition on his website to fire RNC chairwoman McDaniel. Is he lighting a fire or simply fanning a flame, do you think, inside the party?
Well, Mike, I think I've got a unique perspective on this. I endorsed Ronna's opponents. I campaigned against Ronna for over 2 months. She won her chair race for re-election. And after her re-election, I called her. I pitched this idea of an inaugural Youth Advisory Council to her back in January. Since then, I've been working with her and her team at the RNC to put this council together. No payment, no contract, no loyalty pledge, just service to the party, because I want our party to win. My sole focus is on beating Biden in 356 days. It's going to take every single one of those 356 days to beat Joe Biden. I think we have a lot of inter-party problems right now. We will address those after 2025 when our next Republican candidate wins the White House. But right now, my focus is on beating Joe Biden.
And, Brilyn, Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana says the world is on fire and the president of the United States is the firebug.
Part of the reason we find ourselves in a world on fire in Ukraine, in the Indo-Pacific, and now in the Middle East is because of our naivete and our weakness. And more specifically, the naivete and the weakness of the Biden administration.
Brilyn, is that a fair assessment of the war in Ukraine and the Hamas attack on Israel?
It absolutely is, Mike. I miss peace through strength. America needs peace through strength. America is not the only place suffering in the world because of our, lackluster president right now, but the whole world is suffering. The world needs peace through strength. We need a Republican back in the White House pretty fast.
And, Brilyn, where can people go to read more about your perspective on the news?
Absolutely. Your audience can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. It's all at Brilyn Hollyhand. Hope you have a great week and happy Thanksgiving.
Right back at you. Thank you for your insight. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Tim.
All right, Mike. As the Israel-Hamas